Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Roster United, another in-depth review with Gambit, the second out of 5 characters of the Gold Team expansion. Today, obviously, like we did yesterday with Rogue, we're going to do the same with Gambit, but this time we're going to see if he's a little bit better than Rogue, if he, what's his abilities like? Is he good in a 2v2 or a 3v3? Things like that. So let us continue, and let's just jump right into it. Gambit has 4 hits, 3 heroics, and 8 moves. It's pretty average on the hits, a lot of moves, which is really nice, but not that much heroics. Below 4, that is a red in my book. So some decent stats there, right? All right. Let's move on to the specials. Actually, before we do that, he also has 3 wilds as well. All right, so let us move to his special. He has 2 Master Thief cards and 2 Molecule Acceleration cards as well. So let's take a look at the Master Thief cards. It says here, gain 1 wild token and take 1 action token of your choice from each hero. Interesting. So he doesn't just gain that 1 wild token, but he also gains 1 action token of your choice from a hero. He can steal, obviously, hence Master Thief. He can steal a token from another hero and place it in front of him. That is interesting. Really, honestly, really good material for a 3v3 or a 2v2, just right out of the gate. Then he has Molecule Acceleration. It says discard any action token to deal 3 hits in an adjacent location, split as you like. Interesting. So his 2 abilities kind of play off. He gets a wild token, and then he gets 1 action token he can steal from another hero. Then he can play his other Molecule Acceleration card, and he can discard any action token to deal 3 hits in an adjacent location. How about that? Very interesting. I do like that, but I honestly am not a big fan of him stealing other heroes' action tokens, but it does help him out. I can't lie. 3 hits in an adjacent location gives him a bit of range as well. That's really nice. I do like that. But what are his needs? What does he need in order to succeed? He simply needs tokens. He needs tokens. He can get 1 token, which is fine. He can do that twice. He could get 2 wild tokens, but he needs more than that to truly release his full potential. So he needs tokens. He needs characters that give him tokens, or hopefully there's a location in the board that if he ends his turn there, he can give a location. He can get a symbol token. You know what I mean? So hopefully he can do that. Hopefully that happens, but he needs tokens in order to succeed. Now, what about his 2 symbol cards? Very important, right? Very important for team play. Rogue had 3 last time. Gambit has 6. That's 2 more than average. That is really good. Really good. And so, with those 6 2-symbol cards, plus his decent stats, honestly, except for his heroics, but everything else is really awesome. Other than that, I have to say, his type is a attack move kind of character. He can move, and obviously he can hit. And according to his special ability, if he discards an action token, just 1 action token, he could do 3 hits in an adjacent location. So obviously, Gambit is an attack mover. Now, what about in a game? Our next segment, right? Our next segment, because Gambit is cool. I'm not gonna lie, his symbol is just not his symbol. Excuse me. His miniature is really cool. I do like his miniature a lot. And I've been kind of playing. I haven't played with Gambit yet, but I kind of was there just meditating on who he would be good with. I'm just putting myself in different situations and just looking to see how he would react. What would he do? What would a normal player do in this certain situation? And I have to tell you, Gambit is really good. He's honestly passed lots of situations I would have thought would have been difficult. But the only thing he needs is his tokens, obviously, to keep him fueling. But second to that is his heroics. That's his only problem he has, is the heroic part. He can't save. He can save 3 people, or he can clear a threat card. But obviously, that's not enough. That's not enough. We all know this. 3 heroics is not enough. So that's why you combined him with another hero. But the other hero has to have a good enough heroics and some hits. Because Gambit has a good amount of moves. He has enough moves to move him and to play off other characters. But he does not have enough heroics. He does not have enough hits. So, when you're teaming up with Gambit, if somebody's Gambit, make sure you are using a character that has enough heroics and hits, basically taking care of everything else except for the moves. Make sure you also have a character that can give him tokens as well. For example, Captain America, Star-Lord, Professor X, and other characters that I can't really think about right now. But I'm sure there is tons of characters that can give tokens out, and you need to have that character, that type of character, a support character, in play for Gambit if you really want to fulfill his abilities, his play type, who he is. And yeah, you really need that kind of a character. So again, heroics and tokens. That's really what Gambit needs. That's really what he needs. And obviously, talking about his type, an attack mover, really good character. That's great. As you know, I like moves. I like a character that can move. I like a character that can also hit. I think that is really good as well. And he can do both, and that's really enough. So you fulfilled in a role of a squad. You have fulfilled the move category. You have fulfilled partially the hit category as well. So just everything else, fill in those gaps. That's all you need to do. Now let's move into our next segment, the 2v2, 3v3 Gold Blue Team Challenge. What about there? Well, I personally thought, since Gambit is a good two symbol card character and has lots of moves, has enough hits, not enough heroics, but he can get his own tokens as well, his own wild tokens that he can use and steal other heroes. Well, that's pretty good for a 2v2. Personally, for me, not only will you be stealing, if I read correctly, it says choose another hero's token and give it to yourself. Another hero. It doesn't say in your team, a hero in your team. It says a hero. So that means that you can pick off you can pick up a token not from your partner, but you can also pick up the token from the other team. So imagine a token giver, a supporter, giving tokens to the other team. Gambit can easily get his own wild token and take a token from the other team. That is pretty good. You're not letting them do even more damage in their turn. You're not letting them move more. You're not letting them hit more. You're not even letting them do more heroic actions in their turn. You're limiting down their symbols, and you're stealing it and you're using it for yourself. That is pretty awesome. I do like that a lot. So if you're up against Gambit, just make sure you're using those tokens as fast as you can before Gambit steals them from you and he can do all the damage in that same turn. So you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful when you're gonna give it. Obviously, you gotta predict and think. You gotta think if he has that card in his hand. If it's the time to play that card. So you gotta make sure that Gambit stays in his place. And if you have an action token, please use it ASAP. ASAP. As soon as possible, right? Use it before Gambit takes it away. But other than that, really, there's no stopping Gambit. He's going to move around the board. He's going to hit. He's going to play off other characters with his 6 2-symbol counts, with his own tokens as well. Just getting that 1 wild token twice, right? That's 2 wild tokens total. He can use those in his own doing, really. Really, he can use those whenever he wants. And of course, stealing that extra token, he can use it as well. But he can't use his other ability because he has to have a token that can be discarded. And then he can deal 3 hits in an adjacent location. So the Gambit player has to be focused on when to discard when to discard his token and when to use those 3 hits in an adjacent location. Remember, not in your location, in an adjacent location. So you got to make sure and pay attention to where Gambit's at. What's the situation? Do you need to clear thugs in order to get ahead of the competition? Or do you need those symbols to do other things? Right? So there's a lot of thinking for Gambit. And I can tell you this, he's going to make some interesting decisions, and he's going to be one player to watch, and certainly he's going to be very, he's going to be very cool, I say. And it just seems so fun. He seems so cool. In a 2v2 match, I can't wait to play as Gambit. I can't wait to play against Gambit. Just to see from different points of views how he's going to work out. Truly cannot wait till that day happens. But until then, well, we did discuss Gambit. So overall, what do you think? Overall, what do you, the fans, the people listening, what do you think about Gambit? Would you say he's a attack mover kind of guy? Here are the other types. There's a thwart guy. The thwart basically is a type of character that does something to the villain. Basically, he can instead of he can basically cancel a BAM effect, or he can cancel putting civilians or thugs out in the board. He can cancel all these kind of things. That is a thwart character. And I don't think Gambit is that. Gambit is also not a tank because he can't draw cards. He can't draw back up to cards. He is an attack character for sure. Not just because of his hits with already a 4, which is average, but also with his 3 damage in an adjacent location as well. Total with those 2 cards, that's 6 hits, potential hits. Plus the 4, that's 10. That's really good. He's a big hitter. And also a mover with his 8 moves. That's really good. There's also playoff characters, range characters, heroic characters, and wild characters, which obviously, I don't believe Gambit is a range character. Just because he has that one ability, it's not his whole idea, right? His idea is to get tokens, to generate an engine, and then use it to do the range attack. But first, it's the tokens. So yeah, Gambit, very interesting. If I was going to rate him today, out of a 5, I would give him a 4. I would give him a 4, I would say. So yeah, I would give him a 4, and I think he's a really good character, and I can't wait to play him. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a fantastic day. I am your host, Ethan, and this is Roster United.